До вашої уваги прес-брифінг.
To your attention is the press briefing of Presidential Administration spokesman on ETO-related issue, Colonel Lysenko. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. And now information on the events in the ETO area that happened during last 24 hours. In Lugansk area, the militants used 82mm mortars, and they fired at our positions in Krymsky region and Novosnarnivsky region. And also one armed provocation was carried out with the use of small arms and grenade launchers near Zolote town. In Donetsk area, the militants were active in the region of Donetsk airport. Mainly, our positions near Pisky came under fire, and during the last 24 hours, the militants Mayorsk and Novgorodsk. Also, near Troitsk, enemy sniper was active. And our positions near Krasnogorivka came from their positions near Staromikhailivka using 120mm and 82mm mortars. Also large caliber machine guns, small arms, and APCs too. And also in this region, an enemy sniper was also active. In Mariupol area, the hottest area was Mariinka. The militants fired at our positions 22 times, and here enemy snipers were active. There were 9 firing incidents by the snipers. Mariinka was one of the hottest areas during the last week, and the shellings threatened lives of civilians that tried to get through checkpoint in the territory that is controlled by Ukraine. And today, according to the information of Council of National Security and Defense, a decision was taken to temporarily close this checkpoint until the situation stabilizes. Also, there was some trouble in Talakivka. The militants delivered fire from the mortars of 82mm caliber. During the last 24 hours, as a result of the military actions, no Ukrainian serviceman was killed and only 2 were injured. According to the intelligence service, there are some new facts of the death of Russian servicemen that were in the territory of Ukraine. Due to the lack of the discipline and coordination, the militants in Pisky and Mayorsk and Mariinka came under friendly fire. And also to the 6 bodies of dead and 12 wounded servicemen of Russian Federation were delivered to Donetsk hospital named after Kalinin. And also Russian Federation tries to blame Ukrainian side in violation of the Minsk agreement, and intelligence servants inform about delivery of arms and ammunition by Russian Federation to the militants in the east of Ukraine. And according to the intelligence service of MOD, Russia brought more than 200 tons to Kharkiv. They delivered some ammunition and also prohibited weapons such as 122mm and 152mm artillery systems, tanks, hand grenade launchers. Also, they brought to Ilovaisk 240 tons of diesel fuel and also 300 tons of ammunition to Lugansk. And also Russian servicemen and the militants conduct training. And near Shirokino, the militants and Russian servicemen and those militants who are part of 9th detached motorized regiment of DPR that is deployed in Novoazovsk. They conducted some training, and also near Upuk, and also that is near the Black Sea. Russian Navy forces, they conducted some training. And also in the occupied territories, the occupants continue violations. And in Gorlovka, one of the servicemen from Russian Federation tried to rape a local resident. This woman got some heavy injuries from this Russian violator. Also, Ukrainian servicemen help residents. The officers of Civil and Military Cooperation Group accompanied humanitarian assistance to Orlovske village of Volnovasky region of Donetsk Oblast. There were some food, some toys for kids, and literature for children. Law enforcement officers detained militants in Drushkivka and Donetchna. SBU of Ukraine, together with police forces, detained the militant of so-called DPR. He joined the militants in April 2014, and he served at checkpoint in the city. And after Drushkivka was freed by Ukrainian servicemen, he was hiding, and also SBU detained an informant of DPR in January 2014. He, at the recommendation of his comrades, created a network and spread anti-Ukrainian propaganda. And he gathered information on movement of Ukrainian troops, and he was compensated by his Russian leaders. Also, in the framework of the program, they are wait for you at home, provided by SBU. One militant handed himself into police. In October 2015, this man was in engineering forces of LPR, and he was responsible for creating some facilities for heavy equipment, military equipment. Then he got disillusioned in the ideas of pseudo-republic, and he went back to Ukrainian side, and he knew about the program of SBU, and then he decided to use this program. So SBU also blocked the scheme through which the militants tried to create some illegal documents, and they tried to establish a network for these documents and to bring these documents into the Ukrainian territory. And these people, they created some illegal documents. These passports were for legalization of the militants in the Ukrainian territory. So they tried to retreat. So this ATO forces confiscated munition and weapons. SBU, together with the military prosecutor's office, detained a resident of Kiev who got an arsenal of weapons that was brought from the ATO. And in the course of search of his house, they confiscated Degtyaryov machine gun, Shpagina rifle, and then also some explosive devices and grenade F1, and also more than 1,000 of cartridges. Ukrainian patriots gathered some presents for the military, for the servicemen, and they presented some souvenirs with the symbols of Ukraine that they created by them, that were created by Ukrainian school children. And these presents will be brought to the front line, and they will be presented to our servicemen. Ukraine continues to cooperate with our Western allies, and the President of Ukraine established a program for cooperation between NATO and Ukraine for 2016, and this program envisages political goals of partnership and also cooperation with alliance in the sphere of international security. And also the President of Ukraine signed an order for the assistance to the military units of Ukraine in order to improve defense capabilities and the mobilization readiness of the state. This document envisages the list of the units of National Guard and also State Border Guard Service, and state administration should provide help for them. And this is the end of our briefing, and do you have some questions? Please ask. Dmitry Moroz, the fifth channel, told about Marianka. So they shelled a checkpoint, or what happened then? What was there? Why they decided to close this checkpoint? First, there was a shelling, there was some firing. Then there was a subversive group that came close to our checkpoint, and they also started to fire, and all the measures were taken in order to stop this, but shelling continued, and that's why they decided to close this checkpoint until the situation is stabilized. So the shelling should stop. Do you have other questions? Thank you, Andriy Nikolaevich. Thank you and goodbye.